My name is Abubakar Sharuhu Abdul Jalil. I'm a self-employed. I'm a businessman. I'm happy that I'm voted because I exercise my rights.
That's good. This is my polling unit. Polling unit 006.
The report we received from some of our colleagues, some they didn't treat them well, especially people with albinism, that is albino. They promised them that they will give them glass or they will so that if they come for election, you'll see. That is number one. Number two, the blind people, they will use braille, put it on the voter's card, which definitely I didn't see it, or all of us, we didn't see it.
In January 2019, just before the elections, President Muhammadu Buhari signed into law the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act 2018. In addition to addressing other issues, the new law is aimed at ensuring that people with disabilities are not denied their civic rights, including right to work, opportunities for employment, and participation in politics. And that's the core of our discussion on this edition of Talk Your Own, Voices and Votes, a special edition of We the People. My name is Afi Basi, but you can call me Afi. The question we're asking today is, did INEC fulfill its promise to persons with disability in the 2019 election? I have a group of amazing people here with us to answer this and other questions. And I also have on the panel Samuel Eni Ebifa, who is a PhD research student and a rehab counselor. Samuel, thanks for coming. We also have Donald Tampi, who's Admin and Mobilization Officer, Albino Foundation. Thank you, Donald. And Betty Mube, who is the Joint National Association of Persons with Disability, FCT Woman Leader. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We also have Suleiman right here. Suleiman Abdulmumuni Ija, who's the FCT Chairman, Joint National Association of Persons with Disability. Thanks for coming. A round of applause for all of you, please. So, how relevant was the signing of this Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Act? I don't know, does the law, does it say that persons with disability are given a certain role as concerned elected officers?
Not exactly. It was not very explicit about that.
Okay, but is there any way that it could work for persons with disability running for office?
Yes, if the law comes into to full weight or to bear, yes, that could be canvassed for, because the commission is expected to make other necessary adjustments as far as the law concerning PWDs is concerned. Okay,
Suleiman is about to say something, then we'll get to you.
The disability law has many useful tools, and we are looking at the appointment of Disability Commission, which is responsible for the implementation with the instruments, equipment that will be needed for political participation. And it is within some of the, within the bill, there are posts that we are allowed to contest for. And in the previous election, some of our members contested for House of Representatives.
Okay, so those people that contested, how did it go for them? Since you said they are some of your members.
They tried. Like, for example, in FCT here, we have a lady called Lois Auta, and she was the only person with disability who contested for House of Representatives, Federal House of Representatives. And if you look at the situation, she has above 1,000 votes. And compared to political, when it has to do with money matters, we believe that in the next coming election, more persons with disability will come out and they will have access for, running for political offices.
Okay, thank you for sharing. So I think you want to speak. Let's move around.
As regards the bill that was signed into law, of course, you know that that bill has been a cause of concern for Nigerians with disabilities over the years. And we are grateful that at a time like that, it was signed into law.
How did it make you feel when you heard it was finally signed?
Yeah, definitely. As a person with disability, definitely, it was a welcome development. You know, we appreciated that, and we do still appreciate that. You know, it was a good gesture by President Muhammad Buhari. So we are looking towards having the law, you know, implemented, having the commission established. Now, back to your question as regards to the participation, I want to make something clear. The law does not provide any specification like what you have in Uganda, where about 6 slots or 6 seats of parliament is exclusively reserved for PWDs.
So would you have wanted the law to specify this?
That does not, it didn't happen here.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm just asking, so, but from your own perspective,
awesome.
Would you have preferred that to happen?
Yes, it would have been awesome because I have been a strong agitator for affirmative action. You know, when you talk about affirmative action for women, and it always comes from gender. And when you talk about gender, you talk about vulnerability. And we are saying that as you are engaging, you know, in governance, and you are doing affirmative action for women, for youth, there should be a percentage reserved for PWDs, so that if you talk about inclusion, then that is real inclusion.
We were all clamoring for inclusion, and the passage of the bill into our act was a good thing. And this is a really huge welcome development, is an encouragement. Even if it came late or early, before the passage of the bill, you were a Nigerian. You have your full basic fundamental human right to contest for any position. But the credibility of this act now is to encourage more participation of persons with disability, because we feel we have a legal backing and a framework to work upon.
My own take is this. The bill has just been passed. It has not been long that the bill has been passed. So it will take a while. So I would advise that both the people with disabilities, persons with disability, should, give it a little patience.
Thank you for sharing. Okay. Let me come to you, Donald. Yes. Now, let's talk about what happened during the election. Was disability guide provided by INEC useful for people with varying disabilities during these elections?
Yes, INEC did a lot. They provided a lot of materials for people living with disability. When we observed in a lot of polling units, we saw a lot of materials, but then those people that are the electoral officers were not well informed. Some of those things that were not given, especially BRILA, this thing that for people with albinism, were not well provided. And then they were not even included. Those people that the INEC officials were not even educated on how to use this thing. So it caused a lot of problem. But by and large, the election went well.
Okay,
yes.
Let's hear from persons here. You went out. How many of you went out to vote?
Yeah.
You all went out to vote. So let's hear. What were the things you were expecting to see?
We want to see something like for persons with hearing impairment or deafness. We want to see something like a ballot paper where there will be instruction on the voting process, how to vote, how to locate your own political party and vote right without confusion. And again, for people that are visually impaired, the blind, braille material was not well provided for them. And again, in the rural areas where we have election going on, electoral officers don't know how to use these materials for the blind. And the blind too in the rural areas don't know that there is a provision for them to enable them participate actively, except they are being guided by someone. And the person, if they tell the person, this is where I want to vote, the person may misunderstood and vote another party. So we have a problem on information dissemination. We need it more.
Actually, there was a problem then, most especially the POs and all ad hoc staffs. They don't even know actually how to fill in the form, those forms, E40H and other materials. They can't be able to. Even if you remind them about it, they will just ignore you. Because I did it in Area 1. I reminded them about how to use the materials, but they didn't even recognize me.
So the materials were actually provided.
Yes.
But they were unable to use it because they didn't know how to.
Yes, that's how it is.
And then you tried to let them know this
that
is
they're
how it should
supposed
be
to
done.
make use of it. But they ignore me. They didn't even care.
So how did you manage to work around you getting to vote then?
Actually, I got there and vote and cast my vote. And I called my colleague, PWDs. They did their own. Later, when we finished, I asked them to fill that form. They refused. Yes. And the magnifying glasses in area 2, they said it wasn't provided then. They can only get it when there is request.
Well, you're still on to Talk Your Own Voices and Votes, a special edition of We the People. We'll be back shortly.
What I'm expecting from the government, I voted for. First is welfare, social security, they stop it. Social security, if they can provide it for us, definitely we are going to enjoy it. Number 2, education. They talk on education. Number 3, health. These 3 things, if they can provide to me personally or generally, definitely people will be happy with this government. And we will say that we didn't vote for nothing. Our vote is counted and our vote is used. If it is long that government will give it to me, in personal as an Abubakar, I would like to take it so that I can expand my business to make myself happy, to make my family happy, to make my friends happy. We thank God. The president signed our bill. That bill is dealing with the people with disability, that will take care of people with disability, go to their health, education, social, whatever.
Welcome back, and this is still Talk Your Own Voices and Votes, and the discussion continues. Everybody here kind of were part of this election, so it doesn't matter whether you're a person with disability or not. But did you think that the way the polling units were put, the way they were situated, would it have encouraged or disenfranchised persons with disability? Yes? No? Disenfranchised. Yeah. Oh, a lot of people said, yeah, it disenfranchised. Okay, so we will still come to you. Okay, let me just hear from some people behind who haven't spoken.
The locations for the people with disability, I think it was not in order. They really did not think about them, reaching out to them on how to go and vote, because in areas where even for those that we can see and read and move around, locating our polling unit wasn't easy. So thinking about them, I felt that was not in order. It was not in place. They didn't really consider them for. So if for the forthcoming election again, 2023, they should put that in place and consider them.
The place I went to vote, the place I cast my vote, the first experience I had was that place, a wheelchair-bound person cannot go there. Now the crowd was so much. I was talking with a civil defense officer and a police officer. Please, I want to go and cast my... Who are you? Go away. I said, I'm a special person. No, what makes you special? Go. And they were talking to the person that... Take him away. He cannot vote here. I said, what do you mean? I'm a Nigerian citizen. Even a policeman does not know that a disabled person has a right to vote. Now, when I found my way to the front to give me the Braille tactile ballot that INEC spoke about, everybody was looking at me as if I was talking from the moon.
Candidates with disability, did they perform well? Yes, they did? No? What do you think?
They did.
They did. They performed well. They did. Others, what do you think? Let me hear your voice. Did they perform well or not? So would you say yes, they performed well or no?
No.
No. But you said yes.
Yes.
Okay, so why? Why are you saying that? What were the barriers? Why are you saying that? So let me hear.
They didn't perform well, but it is not their fault because they were not equipped with enough, they were not encouraged. That's the word.
Encouraged by who? Who do you think should have done the encouragement?
Government.
The government?
Yeah.
Okay, so were you aware that persons with disability came out to contest?
Yeah.
You were aware?
Yeah.
Did you, you knew the person, did you know the party? Did you recognize that the person with disability was there?
Yeah, I overheard that on the radio, and
okay,
I
but
think
you did not...
Suleja area, yeah.
All right, but you were not particularly aware as such, one-on-one?
No, not one-on-one.
Okay, thank you. Let's just hear.
Okay, I need to make this point. I need to say that before now, okay, in Nigeria, we've always have a way of pushing the disabled aside before the passage of this bill.
When you say we, the people?
Yeah, the people. Yes, the people. Even the government, even some of us. You understand? In our neighborhood, okay? The moment you see somebody with a hunchback or somebody who is limping, who is blind, you seem to see the person as a second-class citizen, which, is not allowed until the media comes into the space to begin to sensitize people and begin to make them understand that, oh, lo and behold, these people, it is just circumstances that brought them into, the situation they are today.
Thank you. Samuel.
The Nigerian society itself is a very huge barrier that disables everything in a disabled person. That is why we did not perform well. Now, as a disabled person, if I go out, hey, you people come and vote for me, everybody will look at him. They are not looking at the content, they are looking at the container. What can this blind man do? What can this one with one leg do? So the entire Nigerian society has disabled the disabled person.
Thank you. Persons with disability in Nigeria, about 25 million or thereabouts, right? Or even more than that. So, Donald, why is it difficult for 25 million persons with disability to actually make a mark in politics?
Yes, because the environment is not clear for them, especially in my own community, albinism community. It was very difficult for people with albinism to be elected in an elective position. Recently, my CEO was on air. He appointed one of us to contest for a post, but the kind of feedback that he got was not encouraging.
Policy itself, is a sportsmanship thing. Is a lose or win. They said Lois Alta, that just contested for House of Rep and lost, is my bosom friend. I was a campaign manager. We did all it takes to win an election. We did not lose because we are disabled. Nigerians, we credit to Nigerians, they are beginning to get informed with disability and they're becoming more friendly. We lost that election because we joined the wrong party, not because of disability.
So you think that was your biggest
Yes, because we joined the wrong party. If we had joined the major two parties, nothing would have stopped us because we worked hard.
So why didn't you join the party you wanted to join?
Because when we get there,
felt should have given you
the reason why we didn't join the leading party was because for you to win a such party, you must start from the grassroots. The grassroots.
How can persons with disabilities join, be active, and occupy executive positions in political parties? This is what we want to talk about. Quick solutions. What do you think? How can we make it better?
We, on our part, as persons with disability, we need to be strong. We need to do a strong advocacy, form a strong advocacy team, to sensitize the society. Secondly, the attitude of the society and the community must be changed to positive thinking. It is our environment that prevents us from giving our best to the society. When you remove the barriers, we can go far and do much more better than what you can do. Thank you.
This, it's encompassing, whether disabled or non-disabled. For you to excel in any given political party, mostly the known ones, you must start by being a member. You don't just spring from the blues one day and say because you have disability, you want to come and become a senator when you're not even known. So persons with disability, our problem has been exclusion. Now we've been included. The bill has been signed in our favor into an act. Now we should come out in a mass via continuous advocacy. You could do it.
The PWD should come out more. I think they have a responsibility too. By the time we keep pushing and saying the government, yeah, they have a role to play, but they should also get up and do sensitization, in-house sensitization, to sensitize themselves towards their duties in actualizing their dreams.
All right.
It's also very important
so
that
else?
they have an in-house
sensitization. Please. Thank you.
Just as Betty said, there is a need for every PWD to know that if nature denies you one thing, God has made it another way. There is a need for you to discover yourself so you can recover, and then be part of the system is very important. However, I want to say this. There is no wrong party, please. I want to say that. There is no wrong party. Every party is equal. It is not an issue of party. The party give you platform. Party is the platform. There are those who won today, quote unquote, but did they really won? Good. So the system is it's very leprotic.
All right, thank you. Samuel, before you talk, let me start with you on this question. The United States once had a president who was a person with disability.
Yes.
Now, do you think that can ever happen in Nigeria? Is it possible?
It's very possible.
Samuel.
We hope one day. That's
Very
why
soon.
we are very serious about this, the law, the commission coming into being, so that the environment will be made more enabling.
Thank you.
Inclusion, accommodation, and accessibility. Once these three things are met, we are all good to go.
Thank you, Samuel. And on this last note, let me hear, do you think this kind of thing can ever happen in Nigeria, that a person with disability can ever be a president in Nigeria? Yes or no?
Yes, of course.
Yes. How soon? When?
Very soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, please can we do that applause again? All together. All right, so the person with disability who are deaf want us to do their own kind of applause, and this is how they do it. So can we all do it together?
I don't know how to
It controls sound for you. Automatically, you don't distract.
Okay, so what we just did now, Samuel, is to everybody put their hands up. You raise it up and then you start waving it. Wave the hand.
No,
so shake it. Be shaking it. I mean,
This way?
yeah, like yes, keep doing it. So let's be doing it. Can we do it together again? All right, let's clap. Thank you all. Some of the things we talked about here is that everyone has a role to play in including persons with disability into governance. We also said here that a policy be made to give a quota of positions, whether elected or appointed, to persons with disability. Now, one of the things that also came out again is that persons with disability should start their own political inclusion by joining a political party from their community.
Even forming one self, and form one for yourself.
That they can even form one, as he said now. Now, finally, I would say that disability should not stop you. Do we agree on that last bit? Yes. And that's it on today's edition of Talk Your Own Voices and Vote. Until next time, my name is Afio Basi. Let's clap one more time in this way.
Do you want to be part of the conversation? Are there questions or comments you'd like to share? So follow at Talk Your Own on Twitter and join the discussion. You can also visit BBC Media Action Niger on Facebook and Instagram. Like and follow to be part of the conversation.